words. And my name's Tim Byrne, I'm from Kiss FM, and I started DJing back in 1982, I think, at the Underground, and buying records from Central Station back then. And yes, Central Station has been an institution in Melbourne, Australia for a long time, and I don't think a lot of people realise what Joe and Morgan did when they set up, well, Joe originally, Central Station, and decided that we all here were worthy of having dance music from overseas that other record labels decided that we weren't worthy of having. And the fact is that if Joe and Morgan hadn't done what they did, I wouldn't be standing here. A lot of you people wouldn't be standing here. I wouldn't have had the career I've had. And that is a pretty momentous thing. The joy that has been brought to dance floors and people by these two men, the careers they have helped establish, the culture that they have helped nurture, wouldn't be what it is today in Australia, and in particular in Melbourne. And I know Central Station is a national thing, but it had a great impact here in Melbourne and establishing the nightlife that continues to flourish in this great city. Unfortunately, I think Sydney cannot speak the same. But yeah, just amazing what they've done. And then to read it in the book, I was asked by Rel, who wrote the book, and Rel, if you're here, what a great job you've done. I was asked by the guys to speak to Rel and tell my story of what went on. And it was so well written, fascinating. For me, it was so fascinating because I remembered so much of it, but I forgot so much of it. And I could join dots that I hadn't joined before. And just the support, not only like doing what they did, but the other things that they did. And I'll recount a story. Gavin Campbell from Razor is here. The story is this, that at the time I was working at Redhead, DJing there 3 or 4 nights a week, doing like a 7-hour shift, probably playing the same record twice. Playing a record twice, maybe 1 or 2 records the whole night. Different world as far as DJing. But I went down to, as soon as I finished my shift at Redhead, went to Razor, as I always did on a Friday night, and often I did DJ there as well, but made the mistake of leaving my records in my car, and went in, had a great time at Razor, went out to my car to go home, and guess what? Someone had broken into my car and stolen all my records. For a DJ, that was a terrible thing, I can assure you. But thanks to Central, and at the time I think it was Steve Robbins was working at the store in the City Square, helped me reassemble my record collection, and without that, I would have been fucked. So that's just another example of how the guys have helped nurture and support people. And I'm sure there's countless stories like that of other DJs, radio stations. Again, Kiss FM, I ran that, and Central was always very supportive. So they've done an immense thing, and you just really have to appreciate what they've done and the fact that they have done it, because if they hadn't, I really would hate to think where we would be today. So I want to say a big thank you on behalf of myself personally and other people here. Joe, Morgan, God bless you. Thank you so much. It means so much. And fuck, I hate to think of what would be like without you. So thank you. Joe, Colombo.
I'll be short. First, I'm grateful for all of you coming tonight. It means a lot to us. I'm very grateful for my partner Morgan for having shared my anguish and anger since 1979. Rel, wonderful writer. Thank you for going through thousands and thousands of pages of documents which were stored in the garage since I've been collecting. I knew I had to write a book because the book is about our anguish, anger, the frustration that this country, the government produces, even now, even today, they're still doing stupid legislations. We are holding the country back. The government by law retards us, holds us back. So we have to change, we have to be activists. So I ask you all, now when they're complaining about the police and the dogs still going around, write to the Premier, tell him about it, stop it, don't destroy the state. Victoria, Melbourne is a beautiful city, I love it, I feel welcome here. Thank you for making me feel home again. Melbourne is my place, this is my roots, and we're planning to come back here more often. In the book, when you read the book, if you happen to do it, read it slowly, because there are a lot of messages in the book. It's not just about us. The book is not about us, actually. It's about you. It's about the input that we had from over 50 or 60 producers, radio stations, the press, DJs, you. It's all your fault. It's all your fault. Because you kept coming back to the shop, I want this recording. But I can't get it for you. It's illegal for me to do so. First of all, before I say more, in 1968 we had the copyright law which prohibited us from importing, restricted us from importing music, films and books. It was a criminal act, which meant that we could face jail and heavy penalties. One of the litigations we had with one record company was $450,000 for importing one 12-inch single of Prince, Controversy. Oh, that's amazing, you know. How did you get to that? Marketing costs, the structures of this, you know. But we were lucky because I managed to punch a few politicians in the nose, slamming doors in Paul Keating's office, managed to go to Canberra a few times and swear at the senators. I wrote thousands of letters. I used to spend my nights thinking about how am I going to get this government. But overall, we had wonderful people like Professor Alan Fels come to the rescue. He knocked on the door. He said, listen, you're doing the wrong thing. We've got to talk about prices here, not political agenda. No, I was fighting the law for that the Trade Practice Commission had competitive laws, and the copyright law was allowing the multinational to fix prices and so forth, and there was a collusion that I want to import the product, but they won't let me do that because the copyright law restricted that. So I went on that agenda, but that wasn't the senators, stupid as they are, they couldn't understand it. So we had to fight on prices. And that's where Professor Fels with, he was the man behind it all. He helped us immensely. And the other person I thanked very much was Peter Costello, our treasurer, ex-treasurer. I spent many hours with him. He was not interested in copyright or trademarks. I had to spend 3 hours to explain to him how the copyright law restricted us and prohibited Australian small businesses from developing. And he understood that. And he said to me, Giuseppe, thank you. As soon as we win government, we will change the law for you. And he did that. But on top of it, I'm very thankful for the Australian legal system. Because, believe it or not, we had support from very high, powerful people from Canberra. Those people, I had to go to them. And also, I used to go with thousands of boxes and all. Don't worry about all that shit. They say, we know what's going on. Just do something for us. This is not, it's not in the book. We mentioned it, guardian angels. Well, the guardian angels were big boys from Canberra. And they were protecting us from the big boys. So we had some kind of hope. That is why we continued importing and fighting. So I decided, I'm not going to worry about this anymore. I import everything. Including bootlegs. And that wasn't funny. But we had to pay the lawyers. So we were getting, to go to Canberra for one session, $7,500. The bank check had to be given before we got on the plane. And we, you know, imagine in 1986, 88, you could buy a house with that kind of money. Anyway, I cut it short. I want to thank you all. It was a struggle, it was agonizing. There were times where you want to give it up, but the faith, I had faith. Believe it or not, I am a very spiritual person. And I've used it. And so next time you get into trouble, say this: fuck you, God. You created the problem, you fix it. One thing I've learned out of this is when you don't want it anymore, it comes. I don't want it anymore, I'm sick of it, I'm leaving, I'm not doing it anymore, bang, here it comes. It all changes, it all happens. Thank you for coming. Thank you, I hope you enjoyed the show.
I think Morgan's going to say a quick few words. I just want to point out, what I think I didn't point out is the absurdity of the situation. Is that now, you know, these guys are fighting to bring records into this country, and online now, you can download, you can give away. How absurd is that? It's just madness. Morgan.
It's been a wild ride, and I'll keep it short. I'd really like to thank Mark Pellegrini for giving us the venue right. And thank you everybody for coming, and Rel, the wonderful author of the book, and everybody here who supported us over 40 years. It's been, as I say, a wild ride. Thank you all. Thank you for coming.